I taught a lot of classes. Actually, in the first 5 years, I taught about 13 different classes. 13 different classes. Nowadays, when we hire an assistant professor, they probably for the first 4 years, they'll teach three different classes, three different preparations. You have to do that because in those days, we didn't have very many professors. But the curriculum was still actually more credit hours. In those days, we probably had electricals take 135 credits. So they had to cover a lot of ground. So we didn't have enough professors. So they threw a lot of courses at me, like circuits, electronics, electromagnetics, solid state, and graduate level courses. I didn't hesitate. It was very enjoyable. In those days, I interacted with students a lot. They were in my office all the time, and I really, really loved that. Working with them and educating them and see that they learn the material. You know what I'm saying? They do well in the class. Then 2000, there was an opportunity. Three faculty members from electrical left electrical engineering, which was like 30% faculty loss. And no chair, I jumped in and took over that opportunity, grew the department, stabilized it. We got the program, computer engineering, electrical engineering accredited. Did all of that. For 6 years, I managed that program. And then for 2 years, I was director of the science and engineering building. And the science and engineering building was built. It had a lot of issues. As you know, it's not just engineering. It has faculty members from all over the campus. And also it gave me an opportunity to interact with the provost's office and the president's office. And then I was able to work with the facilities people. I was able to work with planning and construction. So it gave me a great opportunity to really see how the university operates. You see what I'm saying? I did it for 2 years. I think the president and the provost at that time really liked what I was doing. And they asked me, Rama, would you step in as interim dean? That's how I got in as interim dean in I think it was April of 2010. I became interim dean. A couple of things. We were 55, 56 faculty members when I took over in 2010. Today we are 75. So we have grown by 40%, right? And then our undergraduate enrollment headcount was 1,600. Today it is 3,000. We are about double. And our PhD program probably has less than 20 students in those days. And now we are 150 PhD students. And our research funding annually in those days was a couple of $1 million. And it went up and down. Sometimes it could be it went to 8 million. Sometimes it was 2 million. Sometimes it was never constant money. Now we are about 10 million constant for the last several years. So about 2 to 4 million to 10 million increase. And the number of students we graduated, undergraduate in those days, 10 years ago, was 180 students, is what I remember in 2010. This year, I'll put out the numbers. We have graduated 320 students, more than 80% growth. And the PhD students, we used to graduate 2 or 3. This year, we graduate 23. So huge changes in terms of what we have done. So you asked me a couple of things that I'm very proud of is I think UNLV is a top tier university. That is, it's ranked in the top 130 very high research universities. We are not a MIT or a Harvard or a Purdue or a Berkeley or a Stanford, but they are on one end of the spectrum. We are on the other end of the spectrum. We are barely into the top tier. It's for a young university, it's amazing. For that to happen, UNLV engineering is at the forefront. We are contributing to a couple of the major metrics, like the research expenditure, $10 million I mentioned. UNLV engineering is about 25% of UNLV's research expenditure. Our undergraduate education is as good as anything you can get. I would say in some ways it's much better than what you would get in a big university. I remember teaching in Purdue 35 years ago, undergraduate class. I think it was a junior class. I go into the class, there were 300 students. 30 years ago, there were 300 students. And there were two transparency projectors, one this side, one that side, because students cannot see from that side, they cannot see this side, and they had to do that. With UNLV engineering, you don't see any more than 80, 90 students still. So we have a lot of attention to our students. Our students, I promise you, really hands-on. It really stands out when you see senior design. Students build and solve problems which are really interesting. And no two students are solving the same problem, right? You see that every project is different. And some of these things that innovative ways they create these designs and build them and make them work. That's what a real engineer has to be. An engineer is not just do paper and pencil and simulation. It's got to be paper, it's got to be an idea, conception, a design, paper, pencil, simulation, build and test and work and sell it. That's what you got to do. And our students are capable of doing that. And some of them have very entrepreneurial attitude also. I really like that. The one thing, my vision and my ambition is that if some of these projects go to the market, that is our students become entrepreneurs, they start companies here, start up and grow, and 10 years down the road, they're employing hundreds of people, 100 of UNLV students, and diversify the local economy. That's what I want to do. And it's been my ambition and goal. It's hard to do because as a college of engineering, it's just not, you can't do it by yourself. You need business school, you need community support, you need venture people. I've been working at it for the last 10 years, working every angle possible, but it's just not happened yet. So with family and everything else, now that my kids are grown and out of the nest, now I have the time. So I'm the past 3 4 years. I have a local Indian classical teacher, Indian classical music teacher. I love to sing, so I've been listening. I've been learning, and actually, I even before I came to work today, what 7:15 to 7:45, I was practicing singing. So I love singing. So I do that. Actually, Jack and Molly have been making fun of me that they're going to make me sing the national anthem, but I like to sing it the classical way, my own way. Math is my passion. Even though I apply math and I excel in math and physics, my math is my number one. Especially high school math and calculus are really my pet subjects. Actually, if I'm not the dean, if they tell me in the math the department teach math 181, 82, 283, and 430 or 429, I'll be more than happy to do that. And I would do that with a passion. I would do that with a lot of examples, not the way, not just the books and just do the theorems and solve problems. And why do you do that? Because I have so much engineering experience, right? In metallurgy, material science, and electrical engineering. I can relate math to engineering. I would really like our students to succeed at a better rate. So the number of freshmen that we get in and the number of them graduate within 6 years, what we call the 6 year graduation rate, I would really like to improve that number. Students, that could be, it's not just engineering problem, it's a problem from the pipeline, right? The high school and middle school, how they are prepared. I don't want to lose anybody. If somebody comes and knocks at our door, we open the door and they come in. I don't want them to leave without a diploma from engineering. But that's not what's happening. The truth of the matter is we lose a lot of them. They go into other colleges, and which is not bad. I'm not complaining. Students should have the freedom. But if they come in, I'm going to do everything possible to retain them and do well. That's number one goal. And then number two goal is our student population is very diverse, but our faculty population is diverse in some ways. It's not diverse in some other ways. We have very international faculty. We have faculty from all kinds of great universities, international and US universities. That's diverse in its own way. And we don't have that many women faculty members. We are only about 15% women faculty members. I would like to grow that to 20% or 25%. The women student in our college is only 18%. I would like that number to go closer to 40%, right? Actually, at UNLV, there are more female students than male students. But at engineering, it's not true. I want to change that. It's hard to change, but we got to change that. And the third thing is I want to grow our faculty from 75 to 100. You may wonder why the 100 number. If you really look at the top tier universities, their engineering colleges, the departments have at least 25 faculty members. That's like a critical mass you need to maintain the teaching portfolio, research portfolio, service portfolio, all of that together. If you have 14 or 15, you're asking them to teach, you're asking them to do research, you're asking them to do everything. It's just not possible. So we need to have 25 faculty per department, which means that we need 100 faculty. Of course, if you're hiring faculty members, you need space. I want to build a building, a state-of-the-art building. This building we are in is about 35 years old, and we need a new building. So those are all the important things. And I want College of Engineering to be known as a welcoming place for all kinds of people with all kinds of ideas, very innovative, entrepreneurial, always looking to collaborate, always looking to solve community and societal problems. And I want our engineers to be known all over the world. That's my passion and vision. And the message I want to give it to students is that you never give up. You got to fight it. It doesn't matter what the odds are. You can do it. It's not impossible.